It won't be enough. I've accepted that tonight I may pay the price for our mistakes.
Harrow, don't give up just yet. Claudia and I are still searching for a creative solution.
Call it what it is. Dark magic.
Yes.
I've spent years going along with these creative solutions, and where has it gotten me?
I don't understand.
I know you don't. Leave me.
Harrow and Viren have a very close relationship, and there's a lot of history between the two of them. They don't always agree with one another, but there is a tight bond of brotherhood, and Viren is still Harrow's closest advisor, even if they don't always share the same opinions.
Yeah, and it's pretty clear in the writing, too, that because they don't agree with each other is what maybe draws them closer together a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a butting of heads, it's throwing ideas around, and that's what keeps them close, I think.
Yeah, every captain needs a number one.
Yeah.
Harrow is a man who believes in the law of the land, he believes in magic, but he is not a fan of dark magic. He thinks it's a shortcut, and he thinks that it can only lead to disaster.
I see the problem now. It's that you believe you are special. Better than everyone else, above the laws of this kingdom.
There's a lot of, listen, I've got an idea, and I know you're not crazy about this, but we can do it if we use this. So he certainly respects Harrow's beliefs. I think it's a very, very strong respect. But he's also very positive that it works. So that's the balance there for him. Yeah, I think there certainly is. Otherwise he wouldn't, I don't think he'd go back the way he does. Without saying too much about his character, I don't think he would try and do things behind Harrow's back. But I think there's been times when it has worked and it hasn't been detrimental. So that just gives him the idea I can maybe go back and try again, and maybe this will work better. And I'm sure there's been plenty of times where he hasn't, where he just hasn't been allowed to, so.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I love, as a father, I immediately was drawn to Viren's relationship with his children. And I realized, reading through the scripts and going episode by episode, he's doing things for his family. He loves his kids. Doesn't always show it, but I know that he believes that.
Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a running theme in the show in general. I was going to say the exact same thing, is that Harrow loves his people, and more so than that, he loves his family. And I think that's something we all can understand as humans, and I think that it is a kind of a universal truth. And it's just a matter of how we go about showing our love to our families and how we go about protecting them.
Mm-hmm. And what's great is their individual family dynamics are so different. There's things we don't know about their family.
Yeah.
That's what keeps it very interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think Harrow truly wants Viren's advice and truly values his advice. Mm-hmm. But when Viren keeps pushing the point of using this dark magic, which Harrow is completely against, it goes against everything he stands for as a person and as a king. And when Viren continues to push the issue, he has to use his might, and he has to use his strength and show him who's in charge and who is the actual king in this situation and whose orders will be taken. I believe he did what he felt he had to do as a king, being a strong leader.
In Viren's shoes, it's crushing for him. It's heartbreaking, having to bend the knee like that. But Viren definitely pushes the line, if not crosses it, steps over it. He sees the end result. He knows he can get the end result if only Harrow will let him go there.
And that's the beauty of so many of these episodes and the scripts. It's really, truly like real people in a fantasy world having to deal with really difficult decisions.
Yeah. Well, there's a reality to it. There's dragons and there's elves and whatnot, but it's like, here's a real life situation happening. There's a relationship. Mm-hmm. There's real relationships. It's not this 2D cardboard stuff.
Mm-hmm. And the stakes are high.
They're super high.
Yeah.
That's the best part. I don't think so, simply because it plays out episode by episode, it shows this arc, and it shows the torment that Viren goes through over what has happened to his friend. Also, what's ahead of him. The future of his country, the future of these people, who he also loves, and he wants the best for everyone, but he's also got blinders on. So I do not think people will see it as Viren glad that his friend is dead and now he's in power, because it's just written so beautifully that we see that anguish in him, but he's also driven to make things right in his mind, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're already dead, so
Yeah, exactly.
No opinion.
Yeah. It's... Oh, there we go.
That's a very good question.
Well, like, I think of my best friend, who I think our friendship started off with a fight, actually. And, but now we're like the closest of brothers, and I think there's just a bond between these two men that can't really be broken.
We didn't just drop into those positions. They've got a big history behind them. Like I said...
Deeper than duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, they've got family issues and dynamics that are never seen. Mm-hmm. So clearly they've dealt with that. You know, marriages, deaths in the family. And those are the things that draw people together. So when times were less troublesome, they probably had a great life.
And then when times were troublesome, they fought side by side,
Yeah.
brothers in arms.
Yeah.
And what deeper bond is there than that?
Yeah. And Harrow just likes hanging out with smarter people.
Yeah. And Viren just likes hanging out with more attractive...
I knew that was coming. I should have gone for the fit attractive. Shoot, yeah.
Should have, but didn't I?
No, didn't.